Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today it's the last war of the season. See if we can finally win a war. We're gonna be taking Ironheart, Jean Grey, and Chaucer this war. These three are probably some of my favorite champions in the game. They're a lot of fun to play in war. Ironheart has a ton of utility, which makes her good for a lot of fights. Jean Grey is a great nuke, and she just does a lot of burst damage. And Chaucer just does a ton of damage overall. It's so much fun watching the characters melt. But yeah, either way, first up we have Ironheart versus Domino. Again, taking path 5. And again, not much to say about this node. Domino doesn't really benefit from it. We're just going to be spamming special 1s. I think after the special 1, I might try to build up to a special 2. And do like a heavy attack for that. I don't remember exactly, but either way, it doesn't really matter. The only unfortunate part is all of our debuffs are going to get purified. There's the protection coming back up, but either way, we can just get it right back. And again, with that Fury, we're going to be doing so much extra damage, and Domino just goes down, right? Super quick, super simple fight. Next up, we have an Ebony Maw. I think we take this with Ironheart. Because I'm pretty sure she can parry non-contacts after she gets the tracking up. Yeah. The only like really annoying part is that his heavy attacks are fully unstoppable. But I mean, even then, it's not that big a deal. We don't really have to bait them out because, like I said, we can just get those parries in. After we get our debuffs up from all of his hits. At least I think that's how that works. I could be completely wrong. But, yeah. And again, here, I think I don't actually spam my special 1s. Well, it doesn't even matter because I throw my heavy attack. I might just go straight to special 2 here and try to get as much damage as I can while I still have the Fury up. Yep, here I go, special 2. And I mean, damn, like 30k just for one of the special 2 critical hits. That's pretty damn good. But yeah, he's basically almost down and the fights just began. I'm getting that Fury back up and I'm just gonna spam as much damage as I can, right? Special 1 has some of those burst or instant ruptures, I think. And yeah, we throw the relic and we finish it off with the medium. Again, super simple fight. The Furies really help with getting good damage output and make these fights go like a lot faster and a lot smoother. Here we're taking Quicksilver with Ironheart. I hate fighting Quicksilver, especially in a node like this, because he just like relies fully on like good AI, and that doesn't always happen. So, yeah. Fortunately enough, I don't think anything goes too wrong during this fight, and even if it did, Ironheart does have that armor up. She is pretty tanky, and since my Ironheart is awakened, she does get the regeneration if she goes below a certain threshold, a certain health threshold, and so I don't really have much to worry about. Again, the most annoying part is if we do, by any means, get like whiplash on us, we are going to have to parry, and that does rely on AI cooperation, as does most of this fight, since we need intercepts. But yeah, again, parrying isn't hard at all, so we'll get those whiplashes down pretty quickly most of the time. Again, the only problem is the protection is just kind of annoying to play around, especially with Quicksilver. Also the slow, I'm not completely sure, but I think it might stop you from dexing certain hits. I could be completely wrong about that, but here, I'm just trying to parry and get all the whiplashes off me so I don't take a huge burst of damage. I think 2 will still expire, yeah, and it brings me down to a decent, like, health threshold. But again, we have that slow on us, which gives us indefinite willpower healing. And so we are just going to be healing up for the rest of the fight. As long as we don't like get too many more debuffs on us, I'm just going to be blocking these special 1s. I get parried there. I don't like that. Again, the AI can be annoying sometimes, but either way, we didn't get punished for it, so a win's a win, I guess. Again, we're just fully slow playing this fight. I promise you, the damage will pick up. But, yeah. I'm just trying to play it fully safe because Quicksilver is just super annoying and weird. Again, I wouldn't say this fight is too challenging, but it is certainly annoying. Right now, we're mainly just going to be looking at an intercept here because he is getting down to those lower like health pools, and so, or sorry, just lower health in general. And so again, getting an intercept here with the Fury increase all of our damage by a lot. Um, yeah, I don't know if it does happen because again, we're doing like just fine damage now, even with the protection up. Again, Ironheart has pretty strong debuffs. But, yeah. I think we do just finish this fight without intercepting. We throw the special one, and he goes down. Yeah. Again, super long fight, but it is fairly safe. As long as you don't get clipped like I did, this fight should go very smoothly, without much hiccups. Now, next up, we have this Black Panther Civil War. God, I hate fighting the champion on defense. He is just a pain in the ass for so many different reasons. On this node, he isn't that bad, but, in general, he's just super annoying. Again, he's not a defender. Right there, I get parried off rip, which is super annoying. I'd lose like almost half of my health and my shield, which is super, super annoying. But I digress. We start to bring it back through the special one, get up our neuroshocks. And again, those cleanse charges just make this node so much more annoying because, again, he's already me purifying like all of our neuroshocks because of the one node. And so, again, it just makes it harder for us to ramp and get our like damage in. But either way, it does help us build to special 2 faster. We throw it into the protection, but at that point I was just like, I don't really care. I don't want to like intercept and risk it. I'm just going to get my guaranteed damage and just throw the special 2. Right, not to mention we can get back to it fairly quickly. We only get 1.5 bars of power. They're get clipped by the special 1, just super annoying. Again, dexing a special 1 isn't like hard, but you do need like spacing and timing and blah blah blah. So I'm just gonna resort to blocking them from now on. It makes it a lot easier. But yeah, he does go down a little bit after that. Jean is fairly solid for this fight, and her safeguard with the shield is super nice. I probably would have died if it weren't for that. So yeah, Jean for the win. Next up, we are going to be taking that Atuma with Jean. And, again, similarly to the Black Panther Civil War fight, we're just going to rely on him purifying all of our parries to help us get to the special 1 faster and then the special 2 faster after that. And so, here we're going to heal up, make sure that we're not, like, too low. Because again, Atuma does have some like fairly decent block damage and thorns damage and this and that and blah blah blah. But again, I don't want to take too many risks. I heal up to full. But I guess I misremembered this fight. So I do take Ironheart. Okay, no, never mind. I remember. I was planning to take Jean for this fight, but I realized Ironheart probably just works better. Her mediums are on contact, I think, and she places incinerates on him, which nullifies most of his like personal abilities, so I don't really have to worry about that. I thought I was tripping for a second, but no, I remember this. And again, if he doesn't have any buffs on him, he will have our armor up buff, and we'll be getting a ton of extra power on top of that. Then we go to the special 2, deal a ton of damage, and the fight's over. It's really, really fast fight. I think it was like 31 seconds. But yeah, I mean, Ironheart versus Atuma is a fairly solid matchup. Here we're going to be taking Ironheart versus Dust. Again, another super, super easy matchup. The only thing we have to really worry about is Mixmaster in this node. But yeah, Dust with Ironheart is very simple and very, very easy, to be honest. The only problem is this fight is probably going to last a while because we have to play around a ton of different things. But, yeah. Sorry, I'm a bit tired. But yeah, again, I just need to, like, make sure that I'm mentally keeping track of Mix Master here. Again, I do have to hint her a block because of the parries every now and then. But again, as long as I don't, like, push myself into her, like, dust form or whatever, it's called Sandstorm, I should be fine. We do get hit there a little bit and take some damage, but it's not too bad. And again, even if we did go below, like, a certain amount of health, we still haven't triggered our regeneration, so we still have that in our back pocket if anything goes, like, too bad. But yeah, I mean, the incinerates are gonna turn off the, like, sand debuffs, I think they're called, and yeah. We did take a burst of damage from the, like, power stings or whatever they are, but again, it wasn't that much damage, and we survived it, so not the biggest deal in the world. Here we're just gonna almost finish it out. Yeah, the debuffs finish her out, or finish her. She goes down, and yeah, I wouldn't say the most flawless fight on my end, but a solo's a solo. Yeah, I'll take it. And here we have this Bishop. Again, Bishop isn't like a crazy defender, and Ironheart actually works very, very well for him because she is Incinerate immune, and with her pre-fight, she can get around Bishop's damage or whatever it is that makes him do the damage when you have a debuff on him, or an energy damaging debuff, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, with the ruptures we can get around that. The only problem is we are going to have to play around the nodes a bit because we start off with a Fate Seal, I think, or something like that, stagger. We are going to have to, like, wait it out, and then we're going to have to use a few light attacks to build an armor up buff, so we do get that Incinerate immunity. Unfortunately, Ironheart is immune to shock, so we are just going to have to wait out the shock phase during this fight. But since she can, like, take Bishop's special 1, and I can dex his special 2, we're looking fairly solid this fight, right? Just play Ironheart normally, just hit him during the Incinerate phase and wait out the shock phase. Because again, we certainly have enough damage to get through this fight. He's already down 30% within a minute. There, I think I just blocked his special 2, because there's no point in, like, risking taking a special 2 to the face. Obviously, I can dex a special 2, but this is my last Ironheart fight this war, and I just didn't want to risk anything. But here we have a ton of debuffs, or not maybe a ton, but we have a decent amount. We throw the special 2, and we do a buttload of damage. And Bishop goes down. And here we're taking the left side boss island and the final boss. The Serpent, obviously I've died to him with Shothra before. However, I am just going to take it again. Because, again, I have soloed this fight before, and Shothra is a fairly solid counter. Not really, she doesn't really counter this node in any particular way, but she is a fairly solid Serpent counter, which kind of makes up for it. And again, Serpent, he's not, like, too scary on this node, but again, if you do play poorly, it can kind of bite you, and you can die, like I did a few wars ago. Unfortunately, we do already push him to the special 2, which is really, really bad, because that's going to be, like, a huge source of damage for him. Not to mention, Shothra is what I'm going to be taking for these next 2 fights. I'm going to keep him throwing special 1s, since not only do they do less damage, but also they have that fear on you, which will let you heal up a ton of damage back. But yeah, again, unfortunately, we don't, like, throw that, what it's called, special into him, but into his block. But thankfully, Shothra's animations push her back, the final hit of her specials, which means that we aren't really at any risk of getting hit after after the specials. And again, you're just gonna watch like her do so much damage to him, right? He's melting, and we're not even like at like maximum charges, with maximum vulnerabilities, doing all the damage we can, and he's still going down really, really fast. Here, again, we don't really want to be throwing special 2s because it does do a bit of chip damage that I don't want to deal with. However, we are at the end of the fight, and again, it's not that the biggest deal. But anyways, you push him to immortality, her atrophy makes it down to like 2 or 3 seconds, we throw the relic, and he goes down. This next fight, again, we're taking it with Shothra. Onslaught is actually very... Or Shothra is a very decent counter to Onslaught in general. Again, she doesn't really have anything against the Neuroshocks, but again, it's kind of every champion except for the Maker. And so, again, damage is inevitable against Onslaught, but here, it's not that big of a deal, right? We're not going to die to the Neuroshocks, and as long as we play this fine, right? Like here, I'm dexing a special 2, as long as I don't get clipped by that, everything will be fine. And the good thing about Shothra in specific is since her damage comes in like super short, but like a ton of bursts, all in succession, she can still do basically all of her damage against Onslaught on this node against Safeguard because, again, she's not doing much damage per hit. She just has a ton of hits. But yeah, we throw all that, and he goes down. Right? Again, pretty simple fight. And finally, we have a Dark Phoenix boss at the end. Again, Shothra works fine for this node. She's a fairly solid Dark Phoenix counter. Again, she has nothing against the Nova Flames or pretty much any part of her kit, but the atrophy does make her immortality last a lot shorter, or not as long as it normally would, which does make it a lot better for like to play around, right? Because we can get the fight done faster. Not to mention her damage can actually go around the whatever it's called, Safeguard, so she will work just fine against Dark Phoenix. But yeah, I don't really want to commentate over this fight too much. It's fairly straightforward. We do 2 special 1s and do 2 special 2s. It should push her down to immortality. If it doesn't, we just repeat the cycle. And, yeah. I will say we did win this war, and I'll thank you guys for watching. Catch you in the next vid. Peace.